Saffron. Originating in Bronze Age Greece around 3000 BC, saffron was first systematically cultivated by the Minoan civilization on the island of Crete. It is derived entirely from the microscopic crimson stigmas of the Crocus sativus flower. The production process is staggeringly labor-intensive, requiring approximately 150,000 flowers to produce just 1 kilogram of dried spice. Today, the International Organization for Standardization rigorously governs its quality under the ISO 3632 standard, utilizing spectrophotometry to measure its active compounds like crocin and safranol to prevent rampant counterfeiting. I find its flavor intensely mesmerizing, offering a highly complex, honey-like profile with a distinct metallic earthiness. The dried threads deliver a delicate, brittle texture that dissolves seamlessly when steeped in warm water, infusing dishes with a brilliant, golden yellow hue. Rose. Tracing its culinary origins to the Middle East, the Rosa damascena was extensively cultivated in 7th century Persia. In the 11th century, the celebrated polymath Ibn Sina pioneered the steam distillation process to extract its highly potent essential oils. Today, commercial harvesting occurs precisely at dawn when the blossoms contain maximum volatile compounds. The Bulgarian government strictly regulates the production of its famed rose oil, granting it protected geographical indication status to ensure authenticity. I consider its deeply perfumed, unapologetically sweet flavor to be completely enchanting. Fresh rose petals present a soft, velvety texture, while distilled rose water imparts a concentrated, highly aromatic essence that has defined Middle Eastern and South Asian confections for over a millennium. Hibiscus. Cultivated in West Africa as early as 4000 BC, Hibiscus sabdarifa was highly prized by ancient Egyptian pharaohs as a cooling beverage known as karkadeh. Instead of the petals, producers harvest the fleshy, deep red calyces that protect the seed pod. After handpicking, these calyces undergo a rigorous sun-drying process that preserves their incredibly dense concentration of vitamin C and anthocyanins. In the United States, the FDA universally recognizes dried hibiscus as a generally recognized as safe ingredient. I absolutely love its aggressively sharp, cranberry-like tartness that instantly awakens the palate. When rehydrated in hot water, the calyces transform from brittle, dried husks into chewy, slightly fibrous morsels, yielding a brilliantly ruby-colored infusion renowned for its blood pressure-lowering properties. Nasturtium. Originating in the high altitudes of the South American Andes, Tropaeolum majus was documented by indigenous populations long before Spanish botanist Nicolas Monardes brought it to Europe in 1569. The vibrant, funnel-shaped flowers thrive paradoxically in poor, nutrient-deficient soil, which surprisingly encourages explosive blooming rather than foliage growth. Due to their extreme fragility and tendency to absorb environmental toxins, commercial edible nasturtiums must adhere to strict organic farming standards. I find its aggressively sharp, peppery bite wonderfully surprising for such a delicate-looking blossom. The flowers deliver a crisp, remarkably tender texture that yields instantly upon chewing. Their distinct mustard-like pungency, derived from naturally occurring glucosinolates, makes them a visually stunning, highly functional garnish in modern gastronomy. Lavender. Utilized across the Mediterranean basin for over 2,500 years, Lavandula angustifolia was heavily favored by ancient Romans, who named it from the Latin word lavare, meaning to wash. To capture peak essential oil concentrations, cultivators harvest the vibrant purple buds precisely before they fully open. Agricultural regulatory bodies strictly differentiate culinary English lavender from its ornamental cousins to prevent the consumption of high, mildly toxic camphor levels found in other species. I find its intensely fragrant, pine-infused astringency requires extremely careful moderation in cooking. The dried buds exhibit a slightly gritty, brittle texture that requires fine grinding. When perfectly balanced, it introduces a highly sophisticated, herbaceous mint and floral complexity to both rich dairy desserts and savory herb blends. Squash blossom. Deeply rooted in Mesoamerican agriculture, Cucurbita pepo flowers have been consumed for over 10,000 years following their domestication by indigenous peoples in Oaxaca, Mexico. Farmers strategically harvest the male blossoms early in the morning, preserving the female flowers to ensure continuous squash production. Because their cellular structure degrades within 24 hours of cutting, commercial distributors must employ highly regulated, temperature-controlled supply chains to legally sell them. I absolutely adore their incredibly subtle, zucchini-like sweetness that never overpowers a dish. The blossoms feature a spectacularly fragile, velvety texture with a slightly fuzzy exterior. Historically stuffed with rich cheeses and lightly fried, their delicate structure crisps beautifully while maintaining an earthy, deeply comforting interior softness. Borage. Cultivated extensively in ancient Syria, Borago officinalis was widely documented by the Roman historian Pliny the Elder in the 1st century AD for its supposed mood-elevating properties. The striking, star-shaped blue blossoms are meticulously hand-picked to avoid bruising their delicate structure. Today, global health authorities, including the German Commission E, closely monitor commercial borage products to regulate and limit the presence of naturally occurring, potentially liver-damaging pyrrolizidine alkaloids. I find its crisp, intensely cooling cucumber flavor to be utterly charming and refreshing. The vivid blue petals possess a slightly fuzzy, microscopic texturing on the surface that yields to a tender, juicy bite. It remains an iconic, historically significant garnish for traditional British summer cocktails like the Pim's Cup. Chamomile. Dating back to 1550 BC in ancient Egypt, Matricaria chamomilla was highly venerated and explicitly dedicated to the sun god Ra. These tiny, daisy-like flower heads are mechanically harvested or hand-plucked during peak summer months. To prevent the degradation of its primary active compound, camozuline, the flowers undergo a carefully monitored, low-heat drying process. International pharmacopoeia standards strictly dictate the required essential oil percentages for chamomile to be legally sold as a medicinal-grade herbal product. I think its soothing, warm, apple-like earthiness provides the ultimate sensory comfort. The dried flowers exhibit a highly crumbly, dry texture that demands proper straining. When correctly brewed, it releases a mellow, remarkably smooth liquid with faint notes of sweet hay and honey. Violet. Revered in ancient Greece around 500 BC, Viola odorata served as the official floral symbol of Athens. Throughout the 19th century, French confectioners in Toulouse revolutionized its culinary application by painstakingly painting individual petals with egg whites and crystallizing them in fine sugar. Today, food safety organizations rigorously regulate the specific colorants used in commercial candied violets to maintain their signature vibrant hue safely. I find its incredibly intense, perfumed sweetness quite nostalgic, heavily reminiscent of Victorian-era confections. Eaten raw, the petals offer a remarkably soft, almost melting texture. When crystallized, they undergo a complete structural transformation, providing a deeply satisfying crystalline crunch that preserves their highly concentrated sweet floral essence for months.